Hey, what's up, guys? How's it going? So today I'm interviewing Pizza Dad. How's it going? If you want to introduce yourself.
Hello everybody. I'm Pizza Dad, aka Pizza Father, aka whatever the hell I call myself at the moment. But my real name is Justice. If we don't want to be calling me Father for this whole interview. But yeah, it's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Now, I just want to say you have very nice content. You cover you cover a wide range of stuff, from video games to movies. I like that.
Thank you. It means a lot to me. It does.
No problem. Your content seems original. I love
Thank you. I try. I try my best.
it. Now, I guess we'll just start off with a simple question. What's your current thoughts on modern gaming?
Modern gaming?
Yes.
Honestly, I think, man, that is a big question. But I think of modern gaming is it honestly all depends where you go. I think with the rise of indie and the way that AAA is going, I think it's kind of leveled itself out to a certain extent. Obviously, if you're playing tons of modern games nowadays, you're going to be riddled with your cyberpunks, your battlefields, all all that fun stuff. And God knows that as a YouTuber, we love to mine that shit for content. I can say that, right? I can swear here, right?
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
of course.
God knows I love to mine that shit for content. But yeah, like there's tons of stuff you can get a complete full experience out of. Um, from and not just remasters, because there's also like new stuff, original stuff. I'd argue that the majority of the stuff that I'm personally playing is really good, but then again, I don't play every modern game, so I'd say for the most part, it's a bit of a minefield, but I think it's not too bad.
Right. I would say almost 90% of the games I play now is retro. The only modern games I play is Skater XL and GTA 5.
Ooh, ooh. And even those are a bit. Even GTA 5 is
Yeah,
God,
they.
it's almost 10 years old, isn't it? Didn't it come out like 2013?
Yeah, like I've been thinking about that. Like that's fucking crazy. I remember being at the midnight launch for GTA 5. I feel like an old man.
Dude, I was like 12 when that game came out. That's fucking weird. That's
Yeah.
insane. But yeah, like honestly, like I'm sure people who may have seen my content knows that I've kind of shifted towards focusing on older games. That's not just because of um previously mentioned issues like unfinished games, bugs and all that fun stuff. But it's also because like price. Like God, I think that that's the biggest thing with like games is that $60 is a big fucking ask for a lot of people.
Yes.
Even for a good game, that's like a big ask. And very rarely do I say I am satisfied with that $60, like new or old. Like I'm just like damn. And so I also am focusing on a lot of older games, like the Saints Row franchise and stuff like that.
Gotcha. Now it seems like you're a big fan of the fifth and sixth generation of consoles, which is the N64, PS1, Sega Saturn, and original
Mhm.
Xbox, PS2, and GameCube. What would you say is your favorite console from the sixth generation era, which is the GameCube, OG Xbox, and PS2? And if you want to, you can pick out Dreamcast, even though I consider it like a little bit of both.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, it's probably a little bit of both. It's like picking in between my kids. I have a weird experience with all of them because I had a PS2 growing up, but I don't know if I like got the short end of God's stick, but my PS2s kept breaking all the fucking time, and so I'd constantly like I'd have like 20 games, and then like oh the laser would just stop working. Like I legit just last year when I was still running the PlayStation 2 retrospective, I bought a PS2 from this dude cross country. I got it in, and the laser just stopped working, and he was like convinced that I was bullshitting him. But anyways, despite that, I love the PS2. I adore the PS2. I like the GameCube though. The GameCube's so cool. My cousin had a GameCube, so I played that a lot. And then nowadays, as an adult, I've constantly gone towards the original Xbox. I think it's so interesting how Microsoft are just throwing money at everybody to make exclusives. So you get tons of like one-off weird
Exactly.
games. I think that's not done anymore because games, and that's one thing. I agree on when people say like modern games are a bit is because the budgets are so big. They want so much money in return. It's a big ask to throw like thousands of dollars to like a group of 3 people and make an exclusive game for your console. And I wish that was still like a thing that we could do nowadays. But if I had to pick a favorite, I'd probably say PS2. But I love them all.
Honestly, so me personally, I kind of have 2 answers. What I loved as a kid was the GameCube, but what I love now as an adult is the OG Xbox, because like I love it for a bunch of reasons. Number one, the original Xbox is full of personality, like just like the menu, the startup. I love it.
Yeah, I love that shit. I didn't have an original Xbox. My sister and her dad did, and he was like kind of loaded. And so when I went to their house, I saw the OG Xbox, like this huge fucking CRT, and I was like, damn, this is like baller ass. I kind of loved it. and that's what made me like buy all the OG Xbox games. So I was like, this is so fucking cool, dude. I love it. It has tons of personality.
Yes. And I mean, I don't know why. Maybe I'm wrong on this, but like I feel like as the generations went on, Microsoft just went more corporate. Like the original Xbox, it's fucking edgy ass personality, has the fucking NASA sound effects.
I could totally.
Xbox 360, they took it down a little bit, but it still has personality. Yeah. Xbox One kind of lost it.
So I think I get what you mean. It was so sterile. There was no, and I think that's where they lost me, because I missed on the OG Xbox. I was a 360 kid. I say kid, but I was like 12 when I got it, and that was near the end of that generation because it was 2012. So I got one in 2012, but that was like my console. So I bought my own 360 games for like a good like 5 years or so until I got a PS4 eventually. And the reason I got a PS4 is because Xbox One had no. I think a lot of people say Xbox One has no exclusives. No, Xbox had no like style. It had no essence. There was nothing unique about the Xbox One. It was just a box. And so
Microsoft should have just went back to their roots and added like a bunch of personality.
Exactly. And you can see inklings of that in their exclusives like Sunset Overdrive and stuff like that. But when it wasn't there, it was like, why did I spend $300 on a big VCR? Like, so yeah, I totally get you on that.
Yeah. Now, another question. How do you think you've evolved as like a YouTuber?
Oh, damn. He is going for the jugular. I love it. I'm going to take notes from you for when I get back into podcasting, like God knows when. Man, how did I evolve as a YouTuber? If we want to really deep into it, I guess I started making content when I was 10 years old. So in 2010, my parents just got me a camcorder, and I just I self-taught myself how to edit, record, film, all that stuff. And so for the past, oh my God, you just made me realize I've been doing this for 12 years. God, oh no, I've been making YouTube videos for 12 years. It's been too long. And like a lot of people who start doing YouTube when they're like a kid, they jump from channel to channel. They have all these ideas, then they don't like stick to it. I stuck to Pizza Dad, which used to, oh God, I'm getting into the lore. I originally called myself Black Shia LaBeouf. And I thought it was really funny. I was like 13. I was like, oh my God, I'm the peak of comedy. But I was essentially doing what I was doing now, but I didn't have the self-assurance and like the confidence to play it straight and just be like, yeah, I like video games. I like anime. I like a little bit of hentai too. Fuck you gonna do about it? And so like I lacked that. And so it was just kind of like, hey guys, I like anime. Haha. Oh, sorry. It was just so fucking weak. Is the best way to explain it. I was like weak, I guess. I didn't actually like put myself out there entirely, and so I was half-assing it. But at the same time, I would spend all this time doing it. And so I think the way to answer, God, I love to ramble. So I think the way to answer your question is, over my 12 years of making content, I've evolved in the way of. Obviously, I honed my skills because I taught myself, and I keep trying new things with new videos all the time. But in terms of like YouTuber like skills that you need, I became confident enough to say, I like this. I like spending hours of my day making these videos and talking about this shit. And the best thing to do is just put myself out there and be honest about it. So I think that's how I evolved as a YouTuber.
Yeah, I completely understand that. I basically just taught myself how to edit. I just basically taught myself how to edit as well.
Yeah. You love it. I didn't even know how to like green screen shit, and so so there'd be like effects in like videos where I'm like way too old to not know that. I'm 16 years old. I've been doing that for 6 years. I should know how to key out the green screen, but like I just have it there, like just shit like that. So yeah, it's fun. It's fun. Doing self-taught stuff is the best.
Yeah. Now, to take it back to the OG Xbox a little bit, what's your opinion on the Duke controller?
The Duke controller, I've never held one. I scratched that. No, I've never held one because I was like, wait, my sister had one, but she had the S controller. She had the small one. So even then, I heard about how big the Duke controller was as like a kid, but I never held one to this day. Unfortunately, I think it's kind of cool.
Yeah, me personally, I like it. Like as a person who's like, I remember watching that controller video. You were like, "Damn, I have big hands." You just fucking slap. I remember that.
I got big hands. Yeah, I do have big hands.
Yeah, like the Duke controller just feels comfortable to me. Like,
yeah,
like don't get me wrong, like the black and white buttons feel far away, but I feel like they're still, somewhat reasonable. But I understand people's complaints. It's just maybe people had like small hands back in like 2001. I don't know.
Yeah, I think a lot of people forget that hindsight is 2020, and so we like to look back at things that were experimental and say, haha, you're dumb, even though it tried something new and it was good. It just because it wasn't the standard doesn't mean it wasn't good. Like I used to dog on the Dreamcast controller, but I held one and I was like, oh god, I've been wrong this entire time. And like kind of you realize that. Like the only controller I will die on a hill and say it's bad is the original N64 controller. That thing is fucking stupid. I don't understand the form factor. It feels fine when you're playing it. I don't understand why they decided to give it 3 handles. I will never understand that.
Well, see, one thing I think you got to take into consideration with the N64 controller is like the time period.
Oh, totally.
Like Nintendo was working on the N64 since I think 1993.
Damn,
like I think midway through the Super Nintendo generation, they were working on the N64, and the Duke controller wasn't out till I think 1997. So
damn,
yeah,
so crazy.
Yeah, and the Sega 7 was out yet, but nobody really bought Sega 7s here in America. Well, at least not yet. So, like, the N64 controller, Nintendo sort of, like, had to figure this shit out. Like, okay, you could either hold it this way or this way. You could either play 2D style with the D-pad and the buttons, or you can do a 3D style with the joystick and the main buttons. Like, there's a lot of different ways to hold the N64 controller.
And I'm probably being hypocritical. Like I'm gonna watch this interview back and be like, "What the fuck? I did not word that right. I'm just being a hypocrite right now." I totally get that. I just don't
actually not to be an asshole or anything like that. I actually made a video on the N64 controller. Like,
I didn't get to watching that one. I'm gonna check this right now. Bet money, it's in my watch later right now. And I was like, I'm gonna watch that one because I binged a lot of your videos, and then I was like, fuck, I have to make my videos. I was like, I love this, but I have to do something. It is in my watch later, so I definitely gonna watch that. It's like right here. I'm have that in another tab. So yeah, once we're done, I'm literally gonna watch it.
Oh, okay. All right. Now, I remember watching a video about Scott Pilgrim. Ooh. And I just want to mention something real quick. Like you said, I wish I would have watched this movie like as soon as I got out of high school or whatever. Dude,
yeah.
I feel the fucking same way. Like I love that movie.
Yeah.
I love it, but the message flew right over my head.
Same. First of all, you did it. You did like what is that man name? The host of Hot Ones. You went whole Nardwuar. You like watched my old shit. Shit I don't even watch anymore. So first of all, tip my hat to you because I can't even watch that shit without cringing now. Second of all, no, yeah, totally. What upsets me is when like, oh, man, it's like you watch it and then you understand like, oh, there's like a whole like meaning to it that you didn't get. But if anything, that makes you like love it even more. And it's not upsetting, but I can get why people are like the same thing with like Fight Club. A lot of people miss the point of that movie is calling out toxic stuff about like shit going on in the world, and like people are just like I like the fight scene, and like I like that about Scott Pilgrim is like Scott Pilgrim is like, ooh, pretty girl do pretty thing, and not McLovin do not McLovin thing, but it's got a real deep message, and I really fucking appreciate it because once I got out of high school, I was not in a good place whatsoever.
Shit, me neither.
Yeah, totally. I think that's just like the norm. Yeah, but that doesn't make it any less bad. It's like once you graduate, it's like, oh God, I'm alone, and like you have to deal with everything. God, it's like a 4-year-long field trip, and then you have to like live the rest of your life understanding that like that's just like gone now, and you have to fend for yourself. It's like, oh fuck. But yeah, anyways, I love that movie. I adore that movie. Game's good too.
Oh yeah. Actually, I played the game like once on the Xbox 360 back in the day, but I remember when I watched Scott Pilgrim as a kid, I just thought, oh, Gamer Boy likes Gamer Girl.
Exactly. Gamer Boy loves his goth girl. That's me. But then like you grow up and it's like, oh shit, wait, they were like going on like an emotional journey, and I didn't get that, and like everybody in the entire fucking world should watch this movie and get that from it, but they don't.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Like I feel like Scott Pilgrim was innovative in like 2 ways. It was like the first, God, this is cringe, but it was like the first gamer movie.
Okay. I love it. I love it. The gamer movies.
It was a good gamer movie, and it had a deep message. Like it sort of like nailed 2 things at once.
Exactly. It had it all. It had its cake and it ate it too.
Yep. All right. So I watched your video on the Dreamcast now.
Ooh, damn.
Yeah. So like, what's some of your favorite Dreamcast games?
Okay, so I've still never had a Dreamcast. I played somebody's Dreamcast, and that's how I played the controller. But I've still, to this day, never owned my own Dreamcast. And I really want one because it's so fascinating. And I think some of my favorite Dreamcast games are, like, pretty boring. Like, I'm so, like, standard. Sonic Adventure 2 is pretty fun. Jet Set Radio is, like, one of my favorite games ever because of its aesthetic. Even though I'm terrible at that fucking game, I can never.
Yeah,
I get to like helicopter level, and I was like, I'm done here.
Dude, let me tell you something.
What's up?
I'm stuck on this one fucking level where you have to chase the noise tanks all around downtown. I'm stuck on that fucking level, and I'm pissed.
Yeah, it's like if it's not a helicopter level, it's not a sewer level, it's a chasing level. Like I love that game, but I will never complete it, and I've come to terms with that. I've come to terms with I will never complete Jet Set Radio. I appreciate it as like a thing, and that's it.
Nah, when we're done here, I'm gonna turn on my Dreamcast.
Yeah, man, I think I love the idea of the Dreamcast as well. Like,
yeah.
Well, first of all, let me look at my ROMs as I'm fucking rambling right now. I love the idea of the Dreamcast because it was like, depending on how you look at it, it was either the strongest 5th gen, right, with like PS1, it was either the strongest 5th gen console or was the first 6th gen console, and I love that argument exists.
I mean, to be honest, when it comes to the Dreamcast, I consider it like the hardware of the 6th generation just put in the 5th gen shell.
Totally, yeah, I can see that.
And man, I love the Dreamcast. It was just released at like why did Sega fuck up and make the Sega Saturn? Like, don't get me wrong, I love the Sega Saturn. They would have released the Dreamcast back in like 1995.
Bro,
shit, Sega would still be in fucking business.
I was just about to say that they'd still be in the hardware game, and I want them to be in there. Their shit is so. I just remembered. I love Project Justice. I don't know if I said that in the video. Did I say that in the Dreamcast? Okay, I love Project Justice. That game is so cool. And then one I played off camera is Dynamite Cop. That's super fun. Hydro Thunder and Cannon Spike. Those are like my favorite Dreamcast games.
Nice. To be honest, I want to get those physical, but they are a lot of fucking money.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I wanted to get into Dreamcast stuff, but I'm like, I either have to burn games, which I'm cool with. I'm not like fretting over that. I'm totally fine with burning games. But I personally, if I had a preference, I'd love to have physical stuff. But that is just like is way too much. It is way too much. I will stick to Redream for now until I buy one.
Well, I mean, to be honest, and again, my bad for sounding like an asshole here, but you know I'm all about retro gaming, and I'm thinking you could set up like pretty simple. Just get a Game Boy, set up with a couple cartridges, then move on from there.
Yeah.
Because I mean, Dreamcast is like a pretty big leap forward. Like the console alone is $100 now.
Yeah.
But if you want to get into retro gaming, just start off simple. Get a Game Boy Advance or any Game Boy or a portable system, or just get something that you're nostalgic for. That's cheap.
Yeah, that's my thing, because first of all, I'm a penny pincher, which makes making videos, and now you can understand why a lot of my recent content has been like, maybe let's not talk about $60 games every other month, and let's talk about this huge backlog of shit that I got for like $5. Like, I'm a penny pincher, and I like to play games comfortably, and I like to record them comfortably. And so I end up having I'm looking to my left just a little bit, and it's a mess of cords because I got like an Xbox 360, a PS3, an Xbone, PC, a Switch, and I love original hardware. And ideally I'd buy every single console and buy every single game I ever want. But I think I've gotten to the point where I can at least for now, I'm not saying forever, I'm 5 years old, I haven't even lived half my life yet. I think I've come to this point where I don't need the games right now. I'll emulate it, and then once I have an adult job, I get to buy the shit for real.
Yeah, I got you. You think your shit's a mess. Let me tell you something. let me tell you something. Right now, I have my fucking Sega Saturn, PS1, GameCube, Dreamcast, PS2, NES, Sega Genesis, Fat Xbox One, and Switch, just all hooked up.
I respect.
And it's a fucking mess.
I fucking respect that. Do you want to see how much of a gamer of a person is? Look at their TV setup and just see the fire hazards. Just count the fire hazards, and you will know true gamer.
Oh, dude, this is somewhat embarrassing, but I
remember
when I first got into retro gaming.
Yeah.
I had 5 consoles turned on, and the power fucking went out of my house.
That's never happened to me, but that's almost like a badge of honor.
I just had 5 consoles running at once, and then it just all shut down.
First of all, at once?
Yeah, it was just okay, let me play some PS2, then switch it up to some GameCube, I'll just leave the PS2 on. I just left all the systems on at once.
And then the power grid said, "No, you will not." And then it just did one of these to your whole power. That's good.
Yeah, and thankfully none of my consoles died.
Oh yeah, I think that's what fucks with me more. Is I'm extremely paranoid. I think because I go to college, and so my job pays for my bills in college, and that's basically it. I get chump change to spend on the channel, and so if one of these things fucking breaks, I'm just shit out of luck. I'm just sit pretty for about a year, and then you'll replace it. And so I unplug shit all the time, and I'm super paranoid about it. I'm literally just please God, no. But I'm sure it's fine though. I'm sure it's not gonna happen.
Yeah, one thing I actually tried to do now, you know the power cord that hooks up to the Fat PS2?
Yeah.
That actually works with a lot of consoles. So I just take the power cable from the PS2, share it with the Dreamcast, OG Xbox, Sega Saturn. It actually works on a bunch of systems. I have like all of my systems just set up on one wire.
Damn. I didn't
Yeah,
know. I'll keep an eye on that whenever I get a fat PS2 again.
yeah, it's really convenient. It has less wires involved.
Yeah, totally.
But all right.
Less wires are better. What's up?
But all right, what do you prefer better, 5th gen or 6th gen?
6th gen, all the way. 5th gen, I love it. It is fascinating to see what like these developers did. Because if you look at gaming as a whole, like of course the jump from NES generation to Super NES generation is huge. But you could argue in terms of technical prowess that the 2D to 3D jump was like crazier because they're so used to that. And so the fact that they jumped from there to like a whole different control scheme, different game design, like maps, everything, they had to think all about that third dimension. And the fact that they did that in such short a time, everybody literally flipped a switch like that. I respect that. However, I do not ever, for the most part, like, okay, I'm like in YouTuber mode where I'm just being like over dramatic. I don't really see myself playing a lot of 5th gen games like for fun over 6th gen games, because 6th gen is where they like refine that shit, and I think that that's why we remember a lot of them fondly, like, you know, Final Fantasy X and all that fun shit. I like 6th gen basically. I'm also super biased because I was born in 2000. My first console was a PS2, so I am biased. But yeah, 6th gen all the way.
Yeah, I was born in '97. My first console was the Dreamcast, but
Ooh.
I would say 5th gen is progression, 6th gen is perfection.
Man, perfect vocabulary. You said that. No, I could never say it better than that. Yeah.
Like obviously the 5th gen evolved a lot. You know, it had a ton of great games, but that's you know, it was rough around the edges.
Yeah.
6th gen absolutely perfected it. You know, Mario 64. How about Mario Sunshine with better graphics and fucking Flood?
Fuck yeah.
Banjo Kazooie. Let's. Fuck, I'm trying to think of a Banjo Kazooie representation for the OG Xbox. I don't know. Fucking Shenmue. Screw that. Shenmue 2 on the fucking OG Xbox. I don't know. Fucking.
Silent Hill 1. We got Silent Hill 2.
Yep, Mario Kart 64. Now you got Mario Sunshine. I mean, Mario Kart Double Dash.
Hell yeah, Double Dash. I was terrible at Double Dash. I'm glad that game died. I'm kidding. I'm just bitter. But I fuck with Double Dash. It's so pretty. Such a fun game. Yeah, I'm kind of pissed that they've never brought that mechanic back.
Yeah, me too. And I gotta be honest, a game like Super Monkey Ball couldn't really exist on 5th gen consoles because it wasn't really as accurate as it could be.
Exactly. Like, I adore the 5th gen for what it tried to do. And like I said, they had such a short amount of time. Everyone was just like, do 3D now. And everyone just like listened and did their best. Of course, there was some 2D representation, but for the most part, it was like all three-dimensional shit. But that 6th gen stuff, when they refined it, when they had the time, it was amazing. And stuff like Super Monkey Ball could never fucking exist on that. Yeah, totally. You know, Jet Set Radio probably not. Just a lot of like, yeah, and it just goes to show that they were more used to the hardware, more used to that third dimension, and were able to do their best.
I would say from like 1995 from 2001 was sort of like a big boom in 3D gaming.
Exactly.
From 2001 to I think 2005, because that's when the 360 came out, was just the perfection era.
Yeah.
And then it's hard to admit this. As much as I love the 360, I got that shit back in like 2006. I love the 360. I still have all of my childhood games, but it was sort of the beginning of the end. Like that was when DLC came along. That's when companies were asking more and more and more. You know, it was. I'd say it was the last good generation.
I can see that argument totally. Like, I've had conversations with my friends about that kind of stuff, and I can totally see the argument. And yeah, like I look at my PS4 and I'm like, half of these games are probably not going to have half the content that I want them to have when those servers go down, and that pisses me off. But I think it just goes to show that it's changing, and I'm not a big fan of the way it's changing sometimes. And I totally prefer that older stuff a lot. Yeah, I totally prefer like complete content being on the
And yeah,
desk.
just like you said in that, I forgot the name of the video, but like you said, cell shaded based games like Jet Set Radio or Cell
Fuck
Damage.
yeah. Fuck yeah.
Yeah, I remember watching that video. You said something like this.
Yeah. I totally agree. I agree. I'm just like, I said something like that. Like I don't like. I can't imagine myself talking like that.
No. You said and my bad if I'm not quoting you correctly, but
No, you
you said that
myself.
modern games, just have a realistic style, and it would be better.
Yeah,
And it would be better if the games went back to more of a cartoony style.
totally.
You said games were more cartoony on the 5th and 6th generation because they had to. You couldn't be realistic. But then 360 onward, it was all photorealistic, and it could be realistic as possible. But when every game is realistic as possible, it gets boring. And this is when games like Jet Set Radio should come out. And I didn't quote you correctly, but you basically just said something like that.
Damn, you just like, you remember my shit more than I do, and you like completely paraphrased it totally properly, and I was just gonna say, cell shade good, and I like it. Like that's basically how I talk whenever I don't have a script. I'm just like, it pretty, and then I just kind of move on. But no, yeah, and now that you paraphrase that back to me, yes, I totally agree. That cell shading should come back, and that's honestly probably why I like anime games, because it's so fucking interesting. But yeah, like I love style. I love attention to detail. I love care being put in the games. DLC and
I mean,
I'd say more so. What's up?
I said DLC could be good as long as it adds, a lot to the story. Like you recently played Saints Row 2. There's a couple DLCs in that game that actually add to the story.
Oh yeah, totally.
If it doesn't add anything to the story, stop it.
Stop it right now. Stop it. Yeah, I totally agree. I think we're more so talking about predatory practices, because that shit does piss me off. Like if you play, honestly, any Japanese game for like the past 15 years, it's like, oh, you get this full experience, and then hey, here's legitimately $30 worth of cosmetics that you have to buy separately on the PlayStation Store. It's like, wait, what? Like Persona 5 Dancing, Senran Kagura. I know these are all like weeb games, and that's the thing. People like, it's not in their games, so they kind of like ignore it. But it's the same thing with like Battlefront 2 when that came out, where it was just, the problem isn't DLC, because DLC's fine. I will complain about Kingdom Hearts 3 Remind being priced at $30, but the fact of the matter is that realistically, it's probably a lot of content for $30. I'm really mad about the predatory shit though, because you put that with the hyper-realism, with the super penis pump expensive games, and there's no like AA games. There are AA games, they don't get the attention and the time to shine that they deserve, which is where like YouTube comes in, where we have to like, like you and me and like Thor High Heels and all these other fucking people have to be like, hey, this game exists, it's really good, it doesn't want all your money. And so yeah, I get what you're talking about totally.
Yeah, it's just, and another thing, like Saints Row 2, it had a DLC for like a clothing brand. It had like real clothes in the game.
That's cool as fuck.
Then I'm sort of in the middle on, like if it's a well-known clothing brand, like I don't know, fucking Nike. If you can wear Nike shirts in Saints Row 2, that's I'm in the middle on it. I'm in the middle. Like in a way I do like it, but in a way I don't. I'm in the middle.
And I can be, I'm pretty much in the middle on that too. However, I look at that and like other stuff, and I'm like, I think it's stupid to charge you money for a logo that can easily be modded in or patched into the game. But it's almost like the lesser of two evils in a way, because you look at other stuff with DLC and like I love Final Fantasy 15. I was planning on doing like a Final Fantasy marathon, and I was gonna say this later, but fuck it. I like this conversation. I love Final Fantasy 15 with my entire heart. I played that game 3 times, front to back. I fucking hate how it was financially sold. I hate how it was marketed. I hate the fact that each DLC was like $10, or I'm probably over exaggerating, but it was something to where you did not have to price it at that point, or it could have came out later with this content, you know. And you can argue that it was never meant to be in the original game, and this is just extra shit. But I don't know. It's like, but it was also set up in the base game, and like that's where it gets like super iffy for me. Where it's like, all in all, that's almost the price of the game in and of itself. Do you not think that each of us paying $60 day one makes up enough money for those DLCs to be made? Like, I don't know. I think it's all just about rich people just wanting to get a little richer. Like, I don't blame the devs. I totally blame the people hiring the devs. It sucks.
Yeah, it's garbage. Although speaking of a game you said that you beat like 10 times front to back, I remember your episode on Bully. Dude, I fucking love that game. I'd say I beat the game like 5 times at this point. I fucking love that game.
I love Bully. It's so good. I honestly had more fun with Bully than I think I've had with most Grand Theft Auto games. And that's not to knock Grand Theft Auto games. That just goes to show how good Bully is.
Exactly.
It's a game.
Like it's granted we're not getting into personal shit here, but like Bully reminds me like a lot of real life school, and it's dope how like realistic it is.
Yeah. It's it's obviously got that rock star charm of everyone's an asshole, but it's also kind of like nice in a way. Like there's like you put it into perspective, it's like, damn, they're really arguing over territory over a school that they just go to. Why aren't they going to math class? Like, is that seriously what's going on right now? But it's also like, it's like fun while also keeping that shit. My bad. It's fun while also keeping that GTA charm that I like. And I think that's why it's so good. I think I said somewhere in the video, because of course I have my weeb brain on, and I was like, it's like Persona and Grand Theft Auto, and that's why I like it, because I can't not be a fucking weeb for 5 minutes. But like, yeah, I really like Bully.
Yeah, like I just picked up the PS2 copy again recently, and
Really?
You know what's weird?
What's
like
up?
I like the Scholarship Edition, but I feel like the PS2 version has a lot more charm to it. Maybe it's because it's a lot slower than the Scholarship version, but the OG just has a bit more charm.
Yeah, it totally does. And I don't know if I mentioned this in the video, but my first experience with Bully was my cousin's PS2 copy of Bully. I went over to their house, and it was my older cousin and my younger cousin, who was his brother. So the 3 of us were just sitting there, all taking turns to play it. And I was watching them play it, and it was so cool. And then I finally got the chance to play it. It was so much fun. But then, I don't know if I added this in the video, I accidentally reset the PS2 or some shit like that. Or somehow it got turned off and turned on back again. It would send us to the menu. And I accidentally deleted my cousin's save file of like 20 hours or some shit in Bully.
Oh, no.
I felt so fucking bad. First of all, I'm like 7, so obviously I lack the understanding of like I did something. Like, what did I do? But I got this like 13-year-old yelling in my face about deleting his Bully save, and I legitimately messaged him on Instagram when that video came out. I was like, "Hey Alex, well now he's been doxxed." I'm kidding. I was like, "Hey Alex, sorry I fucking deleted your Bully save," and he was like, "What fucking Bully save? What are you talking about?" But yeah, bringing it back to our conversation, Bully is really fun on the PS2. I think a lot of PS2 games, I think a lot of games in that 4x3, in that kind of slow FPS where it kind of stutters a bit, where you can see that the console is trying its damnedest to run this game. I think that there's a huge charm in that. I love emulators, but I love original games and their original hardware too. It's so pretty.
Totally. Actually, if you like seeing consoles chug, play Conquer Live and Reloaded on the OG Xbox. Dude, whenever I play Conquer Live and Reloaded on my OG Xbox, that shit is chugging. It's trying. Like Conquer Live Reloaded belonged on the 360 because my OG Xbox could barely handle it.
Almost killed your Xbox. Those are the best games, and those really are the best ones. Where it's like it's like the devs are like, okay, our brain is so fucking big right now with ideas that it is surpassing the console hardware we have. So
exactly, I fucking love that.
They're like, deal with it. If you like it, just deal with it. And I'm like, okay. Like I'm working on this video right now of obscure anime shooters, and there's a game I was playing, and it was even chugging in the emulator. So I was like,
really?
Well, yeah. And I was like, oh god, I cannot imagine, because I was originally going to import it, but I was like, I really don't want to fucking wait for that to come in. I'm just all coughs and burps today. Shit. I didn't want to import it, and I was like, God knows. And I looked at gameplay of it on YouTube with somebody on original hardware, and I was like, I don't have the patience for that. But I can't imagine being like 1999 Japan, buying that and then going home and it's like a slideshow.
Oh, actually, one more game that chugs a lot. Well, it doesn't necessarily chug, but you don't have real hardware, so I don't know if you understand this, but like when you turn on the Dreamcast, it's fucking loud.
I've heard stories. I heard the legends.
Yeah, so like when you're up in Shenmue, this show was always like, like it's fucking trying.
It's like you think you got a time bomb in your fucking house. Actually, I was just watching your video on memory cards. This is kind of similar. I was watching your video on memory cards right before you called me on Skype, and I was watching it, and I got vivid flashbacks to in 2007. I'm not going to tell like a huge story. God knows I've done that enough on this podcast interview. So it was 2007. I was playing Spider-Man 2 on my PS2. I'm 7 years old, 7 or 6 depending on the time of the year. Playing Spider-Man 2. I lost my memory card, and so I was like, shit. Spider-Man 2 is not a hard game. I just want to put that out as a disclaimer. But it's been a joke on it in some of my superhero videos of how a lot of my videos on like 6th gen games of how bad I was at Spider-Man 2 and that I never beat it as a kid. And so it was kind of like my Moby Dick, where I was like, I'm gonna beat that thing, and I never beat it as a kid. I beat it now, but I never beat it. And in 2007, this is the farthest I'd ever gotten, and it was a school night, and I had no memory card. So I just left the PS2 on for like 3 days, coming back whenever I wasn't doing work at school, playing this fucking game. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna beat it. And on the fourth day, it's raining outside. My dad finally comes in. He's like, what the fuck in here sounds like a factory? What's going on? And it's the PS2 like heaving on its last legs, because it's been on for like 4 days. And he's like, what the fuck are you doing? What's going on in here? I was like, nothing. He's like, it's 11. Take your ass to sleep. And so I did, and I think the power went out, and I lost my save. But, yeah. That was the legend of my... And that's probably why the PS2 fucking died. That PS2 breaking, you could blame that on me. But, yeah.
Alright, I just have a few more questions, but I do want to mention one thing. So you know those like memeable moments in your videos where you're like, damn, I have big hands, and you fucking ear slap?
Yeah.
Watch that memory card video. I used you as a meme at the very end of the video.
What?
Yeah, check the memory card video and the Super Mario Advance series video. At the very end of the video, I used you as a meme.
Hell yeah! I get the cameo on Nostalgia 64. Fuck yeah, I love it. I'm gonna watch that.
I don't know if that was you, but like there's this moment in the movie time PS2 games where it's just like this weird moment where it's just like you're coughing or something, and then somebody's like shoving a hand into. God, this sounds bad out of context. Somebody shoves a hand in their pants, and you're like coughing or something. I don't know what that was, but I just found it fucking hilarious.
if I didn't make it, I really want the credit for making it because that sounds hilarious. I'm sure I didn't because I'm not that funny, but that sounds fucking hilarious. God knows I wish I came up with that one because that's funny as fuck.
But yeah, I use USB in some of my videos today. If you want to, it's weird. Only a few of my friends have noticed this. By the way, shout out to Ethan Gruxton and my buddy Jack. I always put memes at the very end of my videos because nobody else really does this. Nobody really stays until the very end of the video. So I try to leave a little surprise.
That's nice. I appreciate that. It's almost like your own little after credits scene, but it's a little joke. I like that a lot. I think I used to do something like that a little while back, but then I was like, I'm not funny enough, and so I stopped trying.
Well, that's the thing. I remember Optimus. He did this like a couple years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I fell asleep watching one of his videos. I fell asleep watching one of his videos, and after the outro, he's just like, "Hey, what the fuck are you still doing here? Turn off the video. Get out of here."
Almost like a Ferris Bueller. That's funny.
And he was really the only one that did that. So I tried to do that. Like, I tried to throw in like a little meme at the very end.
I like that a lot.
But alright, another video that I want to talk about is your PS2 movie time game. So it's when I actually grew up with some of these. Now Incredibles is top tier movie time games.
It is amazing. It is amazing. The sequel's ass, but the first game is so good.
Yeah, man, I just remember like watching a movie in theaters as a kid and getting this game, and I was so fucking hyped. It was Incredible and Elastigirl and Dash. I never made it to the Violet levels, but
it's like I never make it to the Violet levels. I made it there once and I didn't like it and I turned it off. But yeah, I never make it to the Violet levels. But the game's great.
Oh yeah, you know what graded games are?
Underrated?
No, graded.
Graded? Oh, graded. Oh, yeah, graded. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a really scummy thing, but I think for the meme's sake, I want to get B movie graded.
I want to get a copy of the B movie on every fucking console it came out on, graded on my wall. I want that. I really want that. That's funny as fuck.
Oh man, but yeah, like that video was just fun.
Yeah, I really enjoyed making that video because, you know, I have a vivid memory of getting The Incredibles because it was my father and his brother, my uncle. It was a different uncle. It was on my dad's side. They bought it for me for Christmas and they let me play it coming home. They didn't wrap it. They were just like, well, you saw us buy it, so just go fucking play it. I don't care. I was like, cool. And so I played The Incredibles a lot, and that was really fun. I fucking loathe the B-movie game still to this day. I still hate that I gave that up. I still hate that I gave up Kingdom Hearts 2 for the B-movie game. It makes me seem bad to this day.
Well, to be honest, I somehow haven't experienced like a movie time game. So like I remember it was my birthday and my aunt, she just said, "Hey, what do you want for your birthday?" I just said I want a game for the Xbox 360. She got me fucking Avatar, the movie, basically. I played it once and never again.
Yeah, I have a copy of the PS3. I turned it on once and I was like, I'm either gonna have to be intoxicated or I have a really good video idea to play this fucking thing. I like the PSP version better, but like I can't imagine. I like movie tie-in games, not as a present though. I buy that as like a masochistic thing as an adult collector. I don't want to be given that. That's the equivalent of slapping me in the face. It's giving me a full price tie-in game. That's funny. That's fucking. It's funny as fuck.
All right. Last question. What YouTubers inspired you, or do inspire you?
Ooh, that is an evolving question. So, obviously, as I said in the beginning, I've been doing this for a very, very long time, and so obviously, what inspired me all the way back then probably doesn't inspire me now. Like, if you asked me when I was 14, I'd say, "Oh, the Nostalgia Critic," and I don't really watch them anymore. I respect Doug. I don't respect some of the other people I used to watch. I won't name them because I'm not trying to like be known as the guy who just starts shit. But
yeah, some of my idols kind of fell off. I'll
fell off.
mention the name, but I won't go into details.
Yeah, they fell off hard. Some of mine, they fell off hard. AVGN was a really big inspiration, and still kind of is to a certain extent. I think it's more his tenacity and his almost like how dedicated he is to doing his best with the character while also keeping James Rolfe intact. I respect that. But nowadays, I'd say like some call me Johnny, Tim Rogers. Who else really inspires me? Super Mega a bit. I love Super Mega. Oddly enough, I don't know if this is like just because I've done it for so long or because this is just like the natural evolution, but I feel like I do have to this day stop watching a lot of YouTube because I can spend hours on this platform and it can start out as like, because I'm just as much a viewer as I am a creator of content, and so I watch just as much, and I'm sure you do. Yeah, I'm sure you do too. We watch just as much YouTube as we make it, but sometimes that joyful watching can turn into seething jealousy. Because God knows I'm working on a video and somebody else makes the video topic before me, and I'm like, son of a bitch, and I'm just like mad about it.
Well, I mean, to be honest, the only way I'll get mad at a YouTube, and this happened to me once when I was growing my channel. This is when I was like at 50, 60 subs.
Yeah.
I interviewed a Nintendo YouTuber, an old school Nintendo YouTuber, right? Yeah. I asked him, hey, can I potentially interview you? He's just like, oh, sorry, you don't have enough subscribers. You know,
that's cringe.
I don't interview small YouTubers.
That's cringe.
Yeah, that kind of left a bad taste in my mouth.
Yeah, I'm sorry that happened to you. Like I don't respect that whatsoever. Like I'm not gonna turn like a big thing, but TLDR, obviously, if people watching this aren't saying either in their mouth, like in their head, or audibly saying like that's fucked up, then you're wrong. Like it's just like that's just a dumb metric to go by. First of all, this podcast is great. Second of all, it's just stupid. It's just a stupid thing. And yeah, like I don't know. Like making content is so much fun, and it just sucks when you're in a mental space where you're like questioning if you should keep doing it. Like God knows I'm gonna keep doing it. Like I'm really dedicated to this at this point. I'm not throwing in the towel anytime soon. If I do throw in the towel, it'll be on my own terms later on. But
honestly,
what's up?
Honestly, I was just gonna say I would have quit a long time ago if it wasn't for my friend Hatham Druxton.
Really?
He kept on saying for a long time, dude, you gotta keep on making videos. And it's weird. I started making them again. It was like a slow start, but here I am now. So shout out to my buddy Hatham Druxton.
Shout out to him. He's the best. And you need friends like that. I have a couple buddies like that. They're my podcast buddies. Shout out Andrew and David. Known those two since I was 13 years old. We met freshman high school, and they've had my back, and vice versa since then. And they've helped me, even though, and I think it's also because I don't have any other creators who like the stuff I like, and so it's kind of like I feel like I'm in my own void. But they are very helpful, and they kind of keep me sane sometimes, and that's good. But right. Yeah, bringing it back, YouTubers are great. I like YouTubers. Girlfriend Reviews is really cool. I really like their editing and their comedic style. And Super Butterbones, and that's about so. Tim Rogers, some cup of jelly.
Wait. I think I remember that person. Did she cover SSX Tricky?
Yeah, she did.
Yeah,
she did.
I fucking remember her now.
I love her content. She got me to play Final Fantasy X. Final Fantasy 15 was my first Final Fantasy game, and her video, "What Should Be Your First Final Fantasy," got me to play Final Fantasy X, which is finally leading me into making my video on Final Fantasy X after my third playthrough. So yeah, shout out Shoot Butterbuds. She's awesome as fuck.
Yeah. I guess a few more things before we go, because it's already about to be an hour. But
fuck yeah, my bad.
No. It's fine. You keep on going if you want to. It's just I don't. I don't want to keep on going for like hours and hours because there's going to be a lot of editing. But if you want to,
Oh yeah.
But yeah, some YouTubers that inspire me is Rebel Taxi. He is a big one.
Why the fuck didn't I say that? Yes, totally. You can totally see Rebel Taxi all over my channel. I love Rebel Taxi. I watch his
Same
video
here, man.
all the time. It's like an Adult Swim show watching it. I love his content.
Dude, I've been watching him since like 2014, 2013. Like I remember
You're
when
old
the
school.
Pizza Party podcast first came out. I fucking
Really?
remember that. I remember Jim Nolan, fucking Rebel Taxi. And this is gonna sound disrespectful, but that other guy, I forgot his fucking name.
Everyone has I know him, but I don't know his name. There has to be one.
But yeah, he's a huge inspiration for me. But he's kind of fallen off in the past year.
Huh?
That's just my opinion.
No, I get that. He's definitely been taking more time, making less videos. But I like his stuff. I watched it like an event. But yeah, I got into him like 15. His shit's so fucking cool. I love it.
Yeah, dude, I used to watch I remember I used to watch the Pizza Party podcast religiously. Whenever that shit came on, I was there to watch. And of course, I would send a question down in the comments that would never get answered, but that's understandable.
I was always that viewer too. I'd be like, I'd have a really thought out question, then somebody who like basically slapped their keyboard got noticed, and I was like, okay, that's cool. That's fine.
But yeah, he's a big one, and also Nitro Rad.
Nitro Rad's awesome. He's literally on my YouTube tab right here on my second monitor. I like Nitro Rad. I fuck with him hardcore. I like his content.
And this is a bit of an old school one, but Classic Game Room. I love this shit.
Oh yes, I could totally see Classic Game Room in the DNA of your channel. I like it.
Yeah, I love their stuff. Like it's weird. I remember watching them back in like 2006, 2007 when I was a fucking kid. And I remember watching shit about the Sega Genesis, the fucking Super Nintendo N64.
Yeah.
That's I'd say my cousin and Classic Gamer got me into retro gaming.
I really like. Yeah, totally. Classic Gamer really got me into retro stuff.
Yeah. But all right, I'd say that's mostly it. Yeah, man, just thank you for being on here.
Thank you for having me. It was a great time.
It's no problem. Yeah, if you want to go check out Pizza Dad, he has great shit. Yeah, just go check out his new stuff, his old stuff. And
Don't check out the old stuff. Don't check out the old stuff. Have respect for yourself. Don't be like this madman. Have respect for yourself. Don't watch anything past 2019. But yeah.
Okay. When it comes to the local stuff, just watch the Scott Pilgrim video, watch the Dreamcast video, watch the cell shaded video, and after that, it's just go modern.
So watch all of my old content. That's basically half of my old content.
But yeah, man, just thank you for being on here.
Thank you for having me once again. This was a really great time. Yeah, watch the podcast, you dorks. This is a great channel. Subscribe, you bunch of dweebs. He's not gonna insult you, but I will. Subscribe and turn on the bell.
Yeah, fucking assholes, go watch this guy.
Yeah, you fucking dorks. You fucking twit. No, I'm kidding.
Fucking son of a bitch. Go subscribe to him right now.
You little cuck. Okay, I'll stop. Okay. All right.
But yeah, just thank you for being on here, and hope you have a great day.
You too, man. You too.
Peace.
Later.